Okay guys, in this video we're going to be talking about the different industries in trading. Starting off with currencies, we've got one currency against another, such as euro against the pound, euro against the dollar, we've got the pound against the dollar, etc. Of course, within currencies lies cryptocurrencies as well, as a lot of you are familiar with, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum. These are your leading, well-known, reputable currencies. Moving on to commodities, we've got products or resources, I should say, that are traded globally day in, day out, that hold a high value, such as your gold and your oil, and of course many more examples as well. Now, last but not least, we've got stock indices, right? So this is a combination of world leading companies that have been gathered together into one indice, and that gets traded overall. Of course, you've got your big companies like Apple, Amazon, Tesla, etc., which have all been combined into one indice, which gets traded with its overall performance. A few examples of these is indices such as US 30, Nasdaq, S&P 500. These are, of course, your well-known, well-traded indices. Indulging into the different types of currencies we have in Forex, these are labeled under three subcategories. Number one being major pairs, number two being minor pairs, and number three being exotic pairs. Exotic pairs ain't something that we will be trading, however I will indulge in this later in the video. Starting off with major pairs are currencies that are globally known around the world. These are currencies that are very stable and have a lot of value to them compared to your minor and your exotic pairs. There's a lot of volatility in your major pairs. The volume is much more compared to your minor and exotic, and of course they're much more easier to trade at the same time. So quickly running through the types of pairs that we get in major. If you look on the screen now, you should be able to see in our major pairs we've got euro against the American dollar, we've got the Great British pound against the American dollar, we've got the American dollar against the Japanese yen, we've got the American dollar against the Swiss currency, that's Switzerland currency. We've got the dollar against the CAD, which is the Canadian dollar. We've got AUD USD, that's Australian dollar against the American dollar. And we've got NZD USD, which is the New Zealand dollar against the dollar. So yeah, that's quickly going through the major pairs. Now moving on to the minor pairs. Minor pairs, again, they do insist of a volatility, but they're not as volatile as your major pairs. They're not as traded as your major pairs as well. However, you can still most certainly catch good trades on these pairs as well. Quickly moving on to the list for our minor pairs, which consist of Euro GBP, CAD JPY, GBP Swiss, NZD CAD, AUD CHF, and NZD CHF. Quickly briefing over what the slash means on the screen right now. When a pair, for example, if we're looking at euro slash USD, this is the euro against the USD, right? As explained in our previous video as well, in our introduction video, this is euro getting exchanged into USD, for example. Vice versa with all the following as well. Last but not least, we've got our exotic pairs, which I won't go through as we won't be trading these. Why? Because the volatility in these pairs is not there. That's number one. And number two, they don't really move how we want it to move in terms of our strategy, so we completely avoid ourselves from it. A lot of these pairs are weak currencies as well, so it's something that we don't really want to get into.